Somehow it's still getting worse in LA. Yeah, it gets worse every day. I swear to God, our nation is just completely occupied by spoiled brats who take everything for granted. They work for nothing and they expect everything. And somehow the spoiled brats of the United States of America make life just a little bit harder.
Right outside Los Angeles County, with some pretty terrifying discoveries that somehow Governor Newsom is dumb enough to defend. As at a platform in Camarillo, the feds brought in a Black Hawk helicopter as about 100 protesters were angry over the raid they knew nothing about.
Of course. Oh, that's everybody. Dude, they're angry and they don't know why, and now it's everybody else's problem, right? It's the same with these streamers. Hey, I really don't like this guy. Why? I don't know, but I really am really mad. It's like, okay, great. Our outrage is now your problem. Why are we angry? We don't know. Dude, I can't believe all these police officers and army policemen or army soldiers are doing their fucking jobs and getting criminals out of our country. Like, they can't do that. That's illegal. Brother, the people in this country are here illegally. They're the ones committing the fucking crime, not the officers. Oh, yeah, but it's different. No, it's fucking not.
Where eventually they had to deploy tear
Reddit told me they're bad? Yeah, I know, right?
Activists from impeding with their investigation.
Am I fucking brain rotted to think that this is my fucking gamer subs drink coming out of that car? that's like a 1-to-1. Put that shit side by side. That is the same color, bro. Use code BALDY, 10% off.
As KTLA shows us this chaotic scene.
America's the freakiest country in the world because you can commit crimes and sometimes not be punished. I know, right? Yep. Oh, no, it's pathetic. It's the biggest issue I have with America.
Posted by Governor Gavin Newsom, captioning it, "Kids running from tear gas, crying on the phone over their mother being taken. Trump calls me new scum, but he's the real scum."
Yep.
Conveniently ignoring the fact that several unaccompanied kids.
Why did you bring your kids there to begin with? Out of curiosity, this is a weed farm, by the way. Why are there children on a weed farm? Can you explain that to me? Oh, man, all these kids, man, they got hurt. Okay, so why were the kids in a weed farm? Are we going to talk about that or no?
All undocumented, young as 14, were rescued from this platform. Newsom is so desperate to dunk on Trump, he's actually willing to overlook unaccompanied kids that were harvesting narcotics at a farm being sued for unpaid wages and providing breaks. As why would he even bother to figure out if this raid was actually saving kids when he can use it to resolve emotional trauma he received as a kid?
I remember the guy on Baltimore Avenue that called me new scum. I was in 7th grade. Governor Newsom, there was an 8th grader on Baltimore Street in Corte Madera that used to call me that.
The more we learn about this story,
I had a really hard time when I was a kid, so now it's everybody else's problem. Okay, dude. How about we worry about getting these kids out of the fucking weed farm? What do we think?
Worse it gets for Governor Newsom.
Unaccompanied, the parents aren't here? Well, that's even fucking worse.
Specifically, as the left wants to paint this
that does
as
not make it better, that makes it even worse.
ICE agents raiding a farm, posting how they're taking away the backbone of our food chain. Democrat congressmen suggesting they were just picking strawberries. But the White House official Twitter account calls him out, saying the product they were picking isn't produce. So if you only knew about this from the mainstream news media and Democrat politicians, you'd think this was just about ICE agents kidnapping hardworking farmers, providing us with food. And these activists react as...
Guys, are we noticing how leftist news sites just lie non-fucking stop? This is crazy.
As if that's true.
It's crazy how you can watch the news to get informed, and all it does is promote propaganda and deceive their audience watching, to where people who haven't watched anything are actually more of the time than people who have been fed false information.
Using their bodies to block police vehicles, actually throwing rocks at the feds as they start to leave.
Jesus. Just fucking tase
and even
dude.
Pointing a firearm at law enforcement.
If you point a firearm at law enforcement, you should have your head blown off your fucking body. I'm sorry, guys. Yep. If that's what you're gonna do to the people who are supposed to be protecting this nation, you should be shot. You should have your head blown clear off your fucking neck. And that's the reality, guys.
It appears a protester fired back with that weapon. It looks like he fired at least a couple of times.
That's
As
insane.
there's now a $50,000 reward for information leading to his conviction.
Yep.
It's insane how rapidly this is escalating, as these anti-ICE activists went from throwing rocks at cop cars to what we covered yesterday with the 2 separate times separate people shot at Texas cops to now someone taking pot shots to defend a pot farm so kids can pick the product in peace. And when popular accounts call this out to millions of views on X, here comes Governor Newsom to claim he condemns assaults of law enforcement. Let's talk about January 6th. If he condemns it so much, why isn't he reposting the reward to capture and arrest the guy that did it, not reposting a tweet from a meme account?
Yep.
As absolutely everything he does has to be about Trump, as if he desperately needs
I hate how almost 99.9% of politicians are just lying, insincere pieces of shit. It is crazy. It's crazy how, like, a politician is essentially a soulless puppet to promote a narrative that they don't believe in order to farm clicks and push agendas because someone else is paying them to do that exact thing. It's pathetic. It is. It really is.
to defend what was going down at that pot farm. And now we might know why, as apparently the owner is one of Newsom's donors, donating thousands to Democrats in
So, yeah, only 99.9%? Yeah, I know, right?
California, with $10,000 going specifically to Governor Newsom, continuing to donate to Democrats until 2023. And to make matters worse, that farm has a class action lawsuit for failing to pay wages and provide breaks. And as none of that can be deflected back at President Trump, Governor Newsom is predictably silent about it. But the campaign contributions aren't even the worst aspect about
I'm going to get off the fence here, guys. I actually think Trump has actually been doing a great job in office so far. I do. I really do. I don't think there's been a president in my lifetime that I recall that has been doing this much shit to at least make positive change long term to America. Yeah, it's just me, though. I know it's very popular to hate him and shit on him, but people said this country was going to go to shit the moment he was in office. I don't see it, man. I don't see it.
this.
Besides the Epstein files, what the fuck is going on with that?
During that raid, one man allegedly tried to escape who has since lost his life, where they claim he fell off a building falling 30 feet, as he was reportedly here just to send money back to his family in Mexico, which sadly was a completely avoidable tragedy if instead of constantly messaging to the community, you're being kidnapped and the Democrats are
And whether you agree or disagree, that's fine. I'm sure there's one thing we can all agree on. He's a hell of a lot better than Biden, who did fucking nothing but sleep for 4 years.
here to protect you, they just promoted the CBP One app that gives you a free ride home, $1,000, and an opportunity to return to the country the legal and safe way. But no, that guy is gone now. Although it's incredibly sad, it's not gonna stop the feds from enforcing the law.
Yeah,
So
Kamala
why are
would have
the
been worse too.
Democrats so
Absolutely.
adamant about making this happen again, as Camarillo's neighboring city, Oxnard, has their mayor stating the raids are unjust.
I've talked about these operations before, how I personally feel they're unjust, unwarranted, and just unnecessary, and it's creating a lot of distress in our communities.
On the other side of Los Angeles County, they have a mayor essentially telling them to shelter in place.
Of ongoing ICE operations within the area. We urge all residents to remain calm, stay indoors when possible, and know your rights. Do not go out unless necessary. Stay at home and do not open the door to strangers.
Cal State LA is actually going back to remote learning since some of their students are afraid to go to school.
Classes to move online amid student concerns over the ongoing immigration raids. Leaders at the university say that professors can now arrange for more excused absences and alternative makeup work after students have expressed fear of commuting to school and taking public transportation. Faculty also have the option of working remotely now,
with Mayor Karen signing an executive order to have the city fight ICE, where she's now given cash assistance to immigrants, as apparently they will receive cash cards with a couple $100s on them. It's mind-blowing how the majority of Americans can vote for and still support the enforcement of our border laws, but somehow politicians in deep blue pockets of the country will not only advise them to hide from federal law enforcement, but start handing them taxpayer cash and even freezing their rent. And all of this is understandably infuriating, But the worst part is
Jesus.
Mayor Karen legitimately thinks you're stupid.
And what steps would you propose to prevent such unrest from spreading to Los Angeles while balancing community safety in your sanctuary city policies?
I just don't understand why these mayors believe they have the ability to go against the jurisdiction of our president and the operations that he have ordered our country to abide by. Right? Like, I understand mayors taking care of like smaller issues that aren't being addressed by the people at larger. Like, in my opinion, the president is supposed to take care of the wide, overarching issues that the country have, and the mayors are supposed to be there to take care of the little stuff the president doesn't have the time to really put their attention into. I don't understand how it is even allowed for a mayor to say, yeah, even though the president said this, I disagree, so we're not doing that. That makes no fucking sense. Like, we're fighting ourselves right now.
Well, let me just say that the quote-unquote riots that were reported never happened.
It's crazy how we all simultaneously imagine those riots in Los Angeles, where the cowboy cop cavalry had to save CHP being pelted by rocks and Molotovs as they burned and looted large parts of the city.
Bitch, it's on the
US
news!
military had to come in and save them. Don't worry, guys. Mayor Karen says that quote-unquote didn't happen. Because if
that's
was
crazy,
actually honest with the people that received their deportation orders and said, there's been riots, there's been deaths, there's alligator Alcatraz that might send you to the South Sudan as the feds just got $170 billion to come
there
find
was
you.
no war
Maybe
in Ba
it's time
Sing
to start
Se.
arranging your departure for that $1,000. It's not like these mayors and governors don't understand.
It really is feelings versus facts in 2025, guys. This is crazy.
And civics and where they stand against federal
Yeah,
law enforcement.
my eyes were closed. It
They'll
didn't
just
happen.
roll the dice with their lives
okay.
just to earn political points. It's right after
Okay.
Governor Newsom
Yep.
said he'd protect them.
I want folks to know we have your back, and we'll continue to come back and do what we can to protect our diverse communities.
The California governor immediately went to South Carolina to seemingly campaign for president.
They're banning speech in classrooms, but also in the boardrooms. DEI, ESG, CRT.
Then going to Tennessee to drink beers, or at least use a beer as a prop for his talk show, as he's just touring the country to talk trash about Trump. And after Newsom made a podcast to host conservative Charlie Kirk, where he
Jesus.
immediately sweat through his shirt, he's now on
Jesus.
Sean Ryan's podcast looking like this, ignoring the fact that he's still the governor of a state running a $12 billion deficit that just found undocumented kids working at a pot farm that's already known for not paying and overworking their people. Gavin Newsom is such an idiot that he literally thinks he could be president while essentially being California's deadbeat dad. And I kind of think the title deadbeat dad is too kind of phrasing, as even an absentee father wouldn't let their family's house burn down, have them live in the rubble as they're unable to rebuild their homes, then subsequently find them for the ashes that once was a house, and then
Jesus.
unveil plans to build low-income housing on their land. As utilizing a natural disaster to make your socialist utopia sounds incredibly evil, but you can't
Jesus.
expect much from a scumbag that sees a story about undocumented, unaccompanied kids being
Good
saved from a
God,
platform
dude.
and somehow made it about himself and how he used to get bullied. So if you appreciate my
First of all, Decoy Voice, amazing fucking videos, obviously. But, I mean, good Lord, bro. How does thing get worse for America every fucking day? You have these fucking politicians who want to treat themselves as celebrities rather than just doing their fucking job. This shit is so fucking pathetic. Jesus Christ.